was hoping to get my Real World beans in this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, but my place is still too wet. Just walking around here, it's just foolish to try to plant this and put beans in. It's just saturated still. Some of the parts of my fields are okay, but most of it's just marginal to no good. So I don't want to rut it up and just plant beans in mud. So anyway, what I will do today is talk about this redneck blind I put up recently and why I put it in this particular area. Alright, so we're here and we're actually in my destination food source here on my property, and it's a 4-acre field. When I had it cleared, it was mature timber, but I didn't really anticipate hunting it a ton. I knew it would just be a area to feed the deer. Obviously, there's a chance I'd be hunting it. What I didn't expect is the activity that I've seen in this plot over the past 2 years. 2 years ago, this plot was brassicas, and this past year it was Real World beans. And I've seen a pretty good buck activity here, and kind of realized that I needed to be hunting this plot if I could. And I've hung stands on the edges of it, and I've just never really seen much when I've hunted there. And I think the reason is because this plot is up high, and most of the activity was early in the season, September, October. And in that time of year here in the Northeast, right before dark, right at sunset, our wind dies down and the thermals really start to kick in, and it sucks all of your scent and all the air down into the bottoms. And when that happens on this particular area, if you're sitting in a stand up on this food plot, your scent is getting sucked down the ridge towards the bedding areas. And I think that what the deer are doing is that are detecting me hunting this plot before they even get to it. So I did two things. First, I moved my approach a little bit higher up the ridge to get a little steadier wind and to get less of that thermal effect. Before we're hunting down on the bottom here, close to where the deer come out. But then there's a big ravine, and all those thermals get sucked down in that ravine. The next thing I did is I put this redneck blind here, and that's going to do two things. It's going to get me higher up. It's going to be an even more favorable setup for my wind and for my scent, but also it's going to help to contain my scent. Using an ozonics unit, I can run that in the blind, and I can get it pretty much airtight, and it's not 100% scent proof, but it's pretty darn close. Now I have a good visual of the whole area, and I can see anything coming from any direction. This redneck is at 15 feet. I put it on a 15-foot stand, and when I'm standing in there, I'm pretty close to 20 feet. So I have that angle down into the beans for a good clean shot without trying to shoot through any brush or beans or anything like that. There's two bucks in particular here I'm hunting this year. One I call Skippy and one I call Lowboy. Both of those bucks used this plot throughout the entire year last year, and they've been here for 2+ years. So those are the two bucks I'm going to be after. And I really think that with these Real World beans here and this redneck blind sitting over them in this favorable spot, I'll have a good chance at killing one of those bucks this fall.
Well, it's May 18th here in southern Indiana, and I got to get out today and play in the dirt a little bit. Just enjoying a beautiful southern Indiana sunset here on the family farm. I'm out here on the family farm basically the whole day. Drilled 2 acres of the Real World Generation 2 soybeans, and I couldn't be happier to get those in. It's about the right time to put them in here in the Midwest. I used a no-till drill that was kind of like a bargain find that I picked up back in February. So we were able to drill those beans in instead of using a tiller or using a disc. So we're able to preserve some of that soil moisture and should get a better overall germination. We're excited that we got these soybeans in the ground. We're going to fertilize them tomorrow right before it rains, and we bought a 6-24-24 fertilizer from our local seed dealer. The reason we're using that fertilizer with the soybeans is soybeans naturally fix their nitrogen. So it's got a little bit of nitrogen in there, but what we're really focusing on is that phosphorus and that potash. So that's what we're going with, and I think we're putting on 200 pounds an acre. That's all per the soil test that I had done last year. But we're really excited about these soybeans, and we can't wait to watch them start sprouting up here before too long.